Hey guys, just finishing up a day here at Mackinac Mill Creek camping. This is my work truck. It's a 1971 Cheyenne. This thing is beautiful, it runs like a top. It's a dump truck now, but I love that thing. I love driving around working with it. Driving this old truck here made me want to bring you guys in on something that we've happened, a big change from our first year on the road and first year with the videos. When I get off of work here, I'll take you and show you what I'm talking about. We'll catch up with y'all in a little bit. Alright, we're going to go ahead and clock out. Now I think we're going to get on the bicycle, stop by the store and see this cute girl that works there. And then I'll go show you what big change has happened since our first year around. Hey!
Hey!
I told everybody there was a cute girl worked here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No bag. A little bag.
So Kimberly is about to make a pizza here at the park store, and she's able to put some of the tomatoes in it that we grew in our garden. So pretty excited about that. We'll have that for dinner tonight. All right, y'all, so we're back at the campsite here. Want to show you a little something that is new to us, but really is almost 30 years old, and I have fallen in love. So this is our new pickup. You'll recognize the topper from a couple of our previous videos. It was on our other truck, the 2011 Ford. This truck is a 1991 F250 Super Cab, and it has a 7.3 liter diesel. Now this 7.3 liter is what they call an IDI. I believe that's for indirect injection. It is 100% mechanical fuel pump, mechanical injector pump, and there is no turbo on it, so it's naturally aspirated. That's a lot less things to break, and if they do break, they're super easy and super cheap to repair. So there's a lot of differences between this truck and our old 2011. Hi, Ron. Oh my Lord. It has been the most fun having Ron and Steve across the street from us and all of our neighbors. But Ron is always up to some kind of shenanigans. Along with everything being mechanical instead of electrical or all the electronics of the newer truck that we had, the cost of this truck is much different. Our other truck at 5 years old was about $40,000. That makes a payment of about close to $600 a month when it was all said and done. This truck, I was driving down the road and I saw it sitting there, and it looked like it hadn't been driven in a while. So I went and talked to the guy at the house and asked him would he be willing to sell his truck. Well, he actually didn't want the truck, and so he was happy to sell it. Short version is I ended up paying only $1,400 for this truck with a 7.3 liter in it. Listen to this thing run. Let the glow plugs go. Pretty good, right? Not bad for $1,400. So we have had to make some repairs, and the end plan is actually to replace everything to brand new on this truck. And then we've got a paint guy here at Mackinac Mill Creek that is really good, and he has offered to paint the truck at a great price. So once we get everything mechanically sound, if we head this way, or possibly I got a guy in Arizona might be able to do it as well, then we'll go ahead and make the outside be as pretty as the inside is. But right now we got to get ready to travel, what, 2,500 miles to hopefully get down to Arizona in a couple months here. One of the main reasons we really like this truck is that there's no payment on it, which is awesome when you're full-time in RV. When you're full-time RV. Hold on. You guys got to see what Max is. This is how Max scratches his back. Oh, you're not going to do it now. One of the reasons that we really like this truck is, of course, there's no payment on it. Keeping the amount of payments that you owe each month down on different things is hugely important when full-time RVing. The less you got to pay out each month, the less that you got to have coming in. Less you got to have coming in means more jobs that you can try and get, or more time that you can have with your family, which is what it's all about. So along with not having any payments, another thing that we really like about this truck is how easy it is to work on. And a third thing is how inexpensive parts are for it. Check this out. When we bought the truck, there was fuel leaking here. When I test drove it, I saw fuel leaking by these injectors. Now, I don't know anything about diesel motors. I've learned since I bought this truck. But for about $45, I was able to get a kit and put all new lines, new clamps, new caps, and new O-rings, and stop the leak. 45 bucks and probably 45 minutes to an hour's worth of work. That was the first thing I had to fix. That's awesome. Second thing is, we just had a water pump leaking. Put a new water pump, and while we were in there, put a new fuel pump, which is back in there. Since we're already down that far, we're going to have all new belts in there. 3 belts. I just got the other 2 in today, so I'm going to replace those. We put a new thermostat, new upper and lower radiator hoses, and got the thing generally cleaned up. And all of that was only about $200 worth of parts, and I was able to do it all right where it sits. So if I was out on the street, or if I was in a garage, or if I'm at a rest stop, I can repair almost anything on this truck outside of rebuilding the motor. Even then, we could probably do that, but we would obviously need a garage to do that. So on our old truck, which was actually a much newer truck, it was a 2011 6.7 liter diesel from Ford. It was an F-250 as well. On that truck, you know that if you saw our previous video, and I'll put a link to it right here, that the motor blew on that thing, right? 150,000 miles and that motor blew on us. To replace that motor, I could not do it myself. There are qualified diesel mechanics that couldn't do it themselves, because you have to take the whole cab. That's this whole part has to be lifted off the frame in the air to get to the motor. If we wanted to replace the motor on this truck, it would not be $14,000. It'd be somewhere in the neighborhood of $3,500 to $4,500 for a rebuilt motor probably. Or I could probably get a used one for, what, maybe $700 to $900, maybe a little more than that, I'm not sure. But it's significantly less, and we could replace this in your average garage. Get a little cherry picker and start unbolting, we're good to go. We can see everything right there. Give you an idea of the cost of parts on this truck versus the 2011. If you had an injector go bad on a 2011, it's going to cost you probably $650 to $750 for the injector. And then Ford has to program that injector, that specific injector with its serial number, to the specific cylinder that it's going to in that motor in that truck. So that's not something you can really do yourself. So if you do a set of injectors on that, you're going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of what, probably he got 8 injectors, probably somewhere like $6,000-7,000 if I had to guess, for injectors. On this truck, the injectors are right here, right on top, okay, and the other ones are on the other side. And a whole set of injectors, you can order a whole set of injectors for only like $200. And they're mechanical injectors, so they don't need to be programmed to anything. So you could do that literally on the side of a street, whereas qualified diesel mechanics got to be putting your other injectors in and may not have the equipment to program them to the truck. That is a huge advantage. The cost of the truck being that there's no payment versus a payment of about $600 a month. The cost of parts, example, injectors, $200 for the whole set versus, and do it yourself, versus say $6,000 or so. That's just a guesstimate. Don't kill me if I'm off by 1,000 or so, but it's a significant difference. Those are reasons we love the truck. Now you probably have questions, right? Like, how does it tow? Well, there's a difference there too, of course. So just like the other truck, this is an F-250. When we hooked the camper to it, it did not squat the truck hardly at all. Our 2011 actually did squat. Weight distribution brought it fine. Weight distribution worked well on here. Neither truck had any sway with our 26-foot 2017 Grey Wolf bunkhouse camper, that one there. Handling was a wash. Now, the big difference between the two when you're talking about towing is the power. Okay, so with the 2011, with that newer diesel, that 6.7 liter, man, you could put that thing on cruise control, 80 miles an hour, and you could run up a mountain with it, and it didn't even know the camper was there. Now the difference is with this truck, it has cruise control and it works. Everything works on the truck. It's beautiful, actually. Needs a little paint job, but other than that, I mean, there's no real rust, just surface rust. We're gonna have this thing looking pretty quick, but you're not going to win any races. It's more like driving a tractor. Like I said, it doesn't even have a turbo, so you're not going to win any races, but it gets you up the mountain, gets you down the mountain. No trouble stopping going down the mountain. Engine worked fine as a brake. We didn't ever feel like we were at risk of any kind of way. Going up the mountain, you definitely know the difference. So we were reduced to, say, 35 miles an hour sometimes, but it never felt like the motor was screaming or working too hard. It just sounded like a tractor. It just kept going along. It never felt stressed out or anything like that. And actually, I think that I've got a solution for that. I've been YouTubing it, which can be really helpful. And I found out that these old fuel tanks, they can have where the pickup tube gets clog in it and stuff because of old algae and stuff, and there's a modification. I won't get into all that right now, but it's so where it's after about 30 minutes you start losing power. We did experience that. It felt strong. About 30 minutes after leaving the gas station, we would feel the power drop off significantly. So I got plans to drop the fuel tank, put that mod in, and I think we should be good to go on that. We'll find out more as soon as we leave here. The other huge difference with this truck versus the 2011, that 2011 was a King Ranch. Now that was awesome. Okay, it was beautiful inside. It had the saddle leather seats. It had heated and cooled seats. The electric, they could turn 10 different ways. It was amazing. This truck, it's a 91, so it's a lot more stock. The interior is actually in really great shape, except the driver's seat, and I'll show you that right here. See, there's a door. Steering wheel, cruise control works. The dash works. The tachometer is not working great. The stereo works, heat and air works, you know, your lighter works. It even came with a trailer brake. Okay, dash is in good shape. We got our pink flamingo travel buddy up there. Okay, we got to fix this door handle right there. But you can see the seats are actually pretty decent shape, except this is the classic. You get these older trucks, you get, you know, these rips in the seat here. Okay, this flips forward, which is cool. Autumn fits back in there fine. So that all works. Now, we would like to upgrade the interior of this truck. Primarily, we'd like to upgrade the seats. Everything else seems fine. And shockingly enough, this thing actually rides down the road pretty darn quiet. We're very impressed with that. So the short-term game plan is to get new seats. We want to get modern seats in there. I'd like to get some that are electric, adjusting, multi-angle, that kind of thing. I would like to get heated seats. My problem is I also want to be able to seat 3 people in the front with a flip-down console, so we can have our center console when it's just Kimberly and I. And I need to be able to flip the seat forward so that people can get into the back, or Max can get into the back as well. So if we get new seats and new paint, the cosmetics of it, pretty good. A little bit of body work. There's a couple dings and scratches in there. But like I said, I know a guy. So as we're getting ready to go, I've got a mental checklist of things that I want to do to the truck and the camper to get it ready to go across the country. I gotta later today put the belts on, so I'll have all new belts. We put that fuel pump in because it was easily accessible, so that should be ready to roll. I want to take the fuel tank out down here and try and make that modification, and possibly get the new seats in before we go. But honestly, there's a really great salvage yard where I can probably go pick out a really nice seat that will do what we need to do, and I'll have more time to make that happen in Arizona. So don't know if we'll get the seats yet. It'd be nice for that long trip, but all in all, we are very happy with the truck. Funny story, actually. Here's where a little bit of faith comes in handy. We actually bought this truck 2 days, I think, before we left. Had to make the repairs on the one side of the fuel returns that I showed you with little red clips, and we hooked our camper up to it, and that was our first real test drive. I drove 45 minutes home from where I bought it, swapped the tires on some rims, and we hooked the camper up, and we left, and we drove from South Carolina all the way up to the tippy top of the lower peninsula of Michigan up here in Mackinac City, and really pretty uneventful, thank God. But so far, very happy with the truck, very happy with the payments, 0, and extremely happy with the ease that it is to work on and with the cost of parts. So all told, with all the parts I've put on it so far, I maybe have paid $1,400 for it. I maybe have $2,000 in the whole truck. So you can't really complain about that. When the whole mod is all done, I get the paint done, and you know, get the interior done and everything, I wouldn't expect to have more than maybe $4,000, $5,000 in the whole thing, because, you know, I know some people. There's some great people that are willing to help me out. So hopefully you guys come along with us and see this thing, you know, turn into a beautiful butterfly. So anyway, that's probably the biggest change that we've had from when we started full-time until now. And so far we're real happy with it. This might not be our forever truck. We were originally looking for a 4-door truck the same way, but a dually, so that at some point, if we wanted to get a 5th wheel or something, we could easily do that. This one is so great, I don't think I could get rid of it at this point. It's working awesome for what we need. If y'all enjoy the videos and feel like you're getting some benefit out of them, please give them a thumbs up and also subscribe. That really helps us out. Click the bell for notifications to make sure you know when new videos are coming out, and share, and as always, comment. If you guys got questions about the truck, or you got comments about the truck, or things that you noticed that I didn't notice, let us all know. We can all learn from each other. So y'all take care, and we'll catch up with you next time.